Hello, and welcome to School Leader Soundbites. I'm your host, Veronica Sofer, and I'm here with you with a very special edition. You may notice I do not have my normal podcasting setup. I do not have a professional clear mic. I do not have the standard background you might be used to. Yes, I am recording this from my hotel room. Why? Because I think it's important to get this message out to you. I just wrapped up a few days of phenomenal conferencing, and as an education leader, I wanted to throw out some of these tips for you so that you can make sure that you are utilizing them as you grow in your professional development. So I'm going to go ahead and kick off this episode with some great tips. Very excited about this, and I want you to take notes. So there will be some of the summaries in the show notes. Make sure you take a look at those, and be sure to connect with anyone who you are working with on a regular basis and share this episode with them, because they will likely get some great benefit from that as well. So you may notice that I'm a little hoarse, and that's okay, because I have been in networking. I have been connecting with folks, sharing my journey, listening to other people, and really growing those relationships. So today on this episode, we're going to talk about four things. We're going to talk about networking, leadership, branding, and support, and how you can tap into all of those skills and really thrive in your experience when you're at a leadership conference. So a special shout out to our show sponsors, K-12 Insight. They actually sponsored one of the conferences that I attended, and they were able to really show what they were doing to grow leaders, especially in the communication space. And I enjoyed watching them work and share some of their expertise as well. So if you're listening, hit subscribe. We don't want you to miss any episodes of School Leader Soundbites. And if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, drop me some comments and I'll be sure to connect with you. So let's dive right in to a couple of things that I think are important and really helped me develop wanting to come on right now and share some of this with you. So networking is key. Networking is going to look different for everybody, but I'm going to share with you some of the strategies that I utilize when I'm at conferences and some of the ones that I saw being utilized that I will definitely be stealing and borrowing. Networking is important because you have to be able to know who's out there, what they're reading, what they're learning, where they're working, the projects and initiatives that they have. And you only know that when you get connected. And sometimes it is very easy to walk up to someone, introduce yourself, or look at their badge and know that there's some innovative things happening in their school district and develop a conversation from there. But sometimes it's much easier when you have someone making that connection for you. And those connections come from when you have shared with others and have brought them value. So a couple of tips: always have business cards with you. Some people still use paper business cards. That's okay. I use both. I also use a digital card. There's also some great products out there. A lot of the people I network with at these conferences, especially the ones I just attended here in Texas, like to use Hi Hello. There's a whole bunch of other ones. I always recommend you've got multiple ways of connecting with people. At the very least, make sure that your social media is updated so that they can connect with you there as well. Your LinkedIn, I met with a couple of people here at this conference, and when I went to check out their LinkedIn, they were not updated. It was maybe from 2 or 3 districts before, and they hadn't touched it in a few years. So make sure that your LinkedIn is also updated with current contact information. Invite other people to sessions with you so that as you're learning, as you're hearing, you can throw some ideas off of each other and just have a thought partner to talk to, so that when you're at your next event or at your next session, you can mention to someone something you learned that brings them value. You want to be authentic and completely in line with what it is that they want to talk about too. So networking is super, super important. And leadership. Leadership is my second topic I want to talk about. Leadership looks different for everyone. While I was mostly connecting with superintendents, deputy superintendents, chiefs of staff, assistant superintendents, there were some other aspiring leaders there. Some folks from the business offices, the HR space, and then even a couple of principals. And what they were there doing was growing in their leadership, listening to sessions, listening to mentors that they've had, understanding their journey a little bit better, and mapping out a path for their own leadership. And that was really important. And of course, it does start with learning from others, reading, doing some additional trainings, and connecting with those right folks. Leadership also means leading down. I went to a phenomenal session by 4 female superintendents here in the state of Texas who are cracking that glass ceiling. And they talked about their journeys and what it was like and what they had to do to get a seat at the table or even create the table for themselves. And they shared their very intimate, vulnerable moments. And that inspired the room that was jam packed. The room was jam packed with aspiring leaders who wanted to know how they can also start serving their districts in leadership capacity. So leading up is just as important as leading down. So I encourage you, if you have made that journey and you are where you want to be in your career and education, that you share that with others. And branding is super important. And of course, I actually, it not only is it my passion, and you've heard me talk a lot about it, I saw it implemented in a lot of different ways. I also presented with a phenomenal colleague in the school district that I work with, and we were able to share how branding is important, not only to your district, but your personal branding. So I connected with a few superintendents who not only had some great websites, a couple that I helped design, by the way, but they had great collateral material. Their business cards were on point. It matched their slide decks. It matched their websites. Everything was consistent. So when I went and looked at their digital footprint, it was consistent. Their messages were clear. I knew exactly who they were, and it wasn't disjointed. It was really put together. So your branding matters. Everyone walks up to me and says, I love your shoes. I'm going to post a picture of my shoes here so you can see. But I have a very distinct pair of Vans custom made shoes that I wear at every conference. Number one, it allows me to be on my feet for lots of hours. Number two, it's comfortable and it's always a great talking point. So when you see the picture, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's got some pointing out to when I go to conferences, people expect to see them. And as people are walking by, they look at my shoes and you're the communications lady. Yep, absolutely, I am. That's become my brand. So you will always see me at conferences wearing my brand colors, and you will always hear me being consistent and true to my passion and who I am, which is a connector. I am a connector and I am a teacher. So I am always about making sure that networking is happening. And this is a great time to really plug our podcast sponsors, K-12 Insight, because what they do is they also come in and support school districts with their brand, making sure that when a district says we are going to be really driving two-way communication in our district, and they've got lots of ways that parents can connect and stakeholders can connect, you will see that true in all of their materials as well. So if you are in a district who is looking for support on how to engage not only with surveys, but with some other phenomenal tools, especially two-way communication and even chatbots on your website using AI, then I highly recommend you connect with K-12 Insight. They've got phenomenal resources. I was a client for many years of theirs, and I talk about them whenever I can because I believe that the products that they are using really make a difference in school districts, especially when we're talking about branding and being able to connect with folks. So check them out, k12insight.com/SOPHER. That way they know that you were listening to our podcast. Check them out on the show notes as well. But tying all of that back together, it's about having a support system, having tools that can support your brand, not only for your district, but for you, and having a digital footprint that does so as well. So support can look like making sure everyone knows what you're about, what you're doing, and how you're going to do that. And you need partners. You need partners to bring you together. You need mentors. You need thought partners. You need your staff on board. You need ambassadors. You need advocates. And you create all of that by bringing everyone together to a shared vision of what your district is about, what you're doing, and who you stand for. Great example, one of my partners that I work with and over in A-Leaf ISD, they're A-Leaf proud. Those teachers know when that superintendent is out and about in the community, he will post pictures, he will tell their stories, he will tell everyone from the rooftops the amazing things that are happening with students. And I can give you dozens and dozens of examples of that happening all across the state. So make sure you are tapping into the resources that you already have. If you belong to some professional organizations, utilize their tools, their trainings, their webinars, all the fantastic resources that they have, and then share them with others. Invite others to participate in them with you. If there's an opportunity for you to attend even just a one-day conference, maybe on a Saturday, then do that. I'm a member of the women's group here in Texas, the Texas Council of Women School Educators, and they are phenomenal. The resources that they have are just true to what it is you want to do as you grow in your leadership. So whether you're coming up as an assistant principal to maybe central office, you're moving up and you want to get into the cabinet level and then ultimately the superintendency, having that support that is deep and deeply rooted in your areas is great. But it's even more important that that support that you're rooted in, not so deeply rooted in, is coming from other folks as well. So find a team of people that can help and grow you as much as you can. So networking, leadership, branding, and support. Those are all the things that you need to do. So a couple of last minute tips as you're thinking about attending your next few conferences. Challenge yourself to meet at least 10 people every day, 10 people that even if you don't want to connect with them and they're not quite a right fit for you in your area, but that you can connect them with others, do it. 10 people, make sure you do it. Follow up with everyone. Make time to do it. Make time to sit down and handwrite cards. If you attend a conference and we connect, chances are you're going to get a handwritten card from me. And then people love that. They will reach out and say, thank you for that card. It was really nice of you. I appreciate it. I look forward to connecting with you and I will keep your information on hand. And I've actually generated some really great relationships and leads from that. So if you are out and you're an aspiring superintendent, they actually will keep your information and share it with recruiters and other people that they come across. So make sure that you connect with people. If handwritten cards aren't your thing, at the very least an email, or at the very least a DM. So connect with people on social media, update people on what you're doing, share your contact information with you. Another tip, always try to go to those networking opportunities, those after hour events. And I'm an early person. I am done by 9 or 9:30. So some of these events are early breakfasts, but if there's an opportunity for you to go to a happy hour afterwards, go, even if it's just for a few minutes. You don't have to eat the appetizers. You don't have to partake in the refreshments, but you do have to go around and meet people, introduce yourself, and just share your story. And then also take pictures. Pictures are a great way of connecting with people. If you're not on social media and that's not your thing, that's okay. Likely someone in your district is doing that for you, but take those pictures so that when you do connect with someone, you can share them with them and just say, I enjoyed meeting you. I wanted to pass along this picture that we took. I loved that session. I learned so much. I hope you did too. Let's stay in touch. So just a couple of tips to remind you on how to get the most out of your participation in conferences, especially leadership conferences. So with that, I'm going to wrap up this episode of School Leader Soundbites. Thank you for tuning in. I know the quality wasn't what you're used to, but I still hope you got some great value, and I hope you shared this podcast with everyone else in your network. So make sure you're following me on social media. I'm going to take some of my own advice. My hashtag is down there. Make sure you connect. Follow me on LinkedIn. Be sure to visit my website, veronicavsofer.com, and sign up for our newsletters. I am always sending out great content for you to share. And if you find value, please share me with others as well. All right, with that, we're going to wrap up this episode. Hit subscribe. You don't want to miss any episode. And we will catch you next time.